Hello, Mob S here, going live in the Audacious Coaches community. How are you? I hope you had a great weekend. Let me just make sure all the tech is working and that I'm not duplicating my sound. Give me 1 second. There we go. That's better. So here we are in the Audacious Coaches community. My name is Mark Bonnet. It's fantastic to have you with us as we get started live. This week, we are relaunching this group. So if you're watching me live, comment live below, L-I-V-E below. So comment live below. If you're watching the replay, I want you to comment replay below, just that I know who's following live and who's watching the replay. And it's exciting to be here with you. And to be really relaunching this group. So today in this session, I'm going to talk about some of my sort of backstory and my passion for the coaching world and my passion to help you, every single one of you, to build businesses that change and transform lives, and why it's important to do so in this particular moment in time and history as well. So excited to be sharing that with you today. I'm really speaking from my heart and my passion. Janice, live for 30 minutes and replay the balance. Beautiful. Calvin, live. Beautiful. Good to have you with us. So it's fantastic to have you with us. As I say, my name is Mark Bonnet. I am the founder of the Audacious Coaches community, previously called the I Work in Personal Development Group. So I created this group in 2016 with a goal of bringing coaches together to help them to build businesses that impact lives, to provide resources, tools, trainings to help you to really build a solid business. So, you know, this is a group that's been going for many, many years, and now 33,000 people in this group, which is absolutely incredible. But over time, the past sort of 6 months, I stopped sort of posting a lot in this group just because I was really working with my clients to help them to get results, and I'm really stuck in the trenches with my clients, as it were, to really help them to grow and build their businesses. But we're relaunching this group, and this week we have a whole series of interviews with incredible people, conversations with the most amazing people that will provide you with resources, tools, and strategies to help you to grow and build your business. So we have Tess, who's our PR expert, Sagi, who is a 7-figure agency owner. He is an entrepreneur. He has his own app, but he focuses on mindset, and is a father of 3 children. We've got some great knowledge and wisdom from Eva, who focuses on Facebook and TikTok. We've got Karen, who is our book author expert. Currently, she's come back from London, having done a promotion with Sarah Ferguson as part of the real sort of family there. I'm working with her on her book. So we've got some great people coming at you and here in this group to serve you. And that's just indicative of what's about to come over the next few weeks, over the next few months. So why are we here? Why are we here in this group? In fact, why are we here as coaches? It's a big, deep question, right? And I want to offer you or share a rally cry. I'm here today to share a rally cry. And that rally cry is to inspire you as a coach to go to that next level in your business, to figure out what you need to figure out in order to grow and build a business that shifts and changes people's lives at a profound level. That's why we're here as coaches. But I believe that there's a frustration in the coaching world, and that frustration is the struggle as to how to build a business. And we are beautiful, awesome people as coaches, and we go through beautiful training programs to become a life coach or specific modalities. And in fact, comment below and let me know what modalities have you trained in as a coach. I'd love to know. So what modalities have you trained in, whether you're watching live, watching the replay? So we've trained in these beautiful modalities, and we've had these skills to help people to improve their relationships, their health, their career, their finances, to lose weight, to gain weight, to find a partner, to improve their relationships or their marriage or their relationship with their children or their family, to ascend the career ladder or to launch their own business. We help so many people, have the skills to help so many people. But I see so many coaches struggling to figure out how to build their business. And with that struggle comes frustration. And with that frustration, you either go one of two ways. And one of those two ways is that you knuckle down. You absolutely knuckle down and learn what you need to learn in order to build a business that does really change as many lives as possible. Or on the other side of it, I see many coaches give up. And I don't want you to give up. And I want to highlight the importance. This is a rally cry, the importance of you stepping up as a coach. The reason that I've called this Audacious Coaches is because I believe that now is the time for coaches to be bold and to be brave into building business and figuring out how to build a business that really makes a bigger difference in the world as possible, whether that's starting off with your family, whether it's starting off in your community, whether it's moving out to your wider state or the country, then the country that you're in, the world, because we're online. I believe that coaches need to be bold and brave and audacious in the execution of their vision to achieve greatness in their life and to achieve what they were put on planet Earth to achieve, which is to really make a difference in the world, to leave a legacy that transforms lives in the most powerful and profound way. Karen, live, good to have you with us. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. And Karen will be sharing some awesome content with us this week as our book expert. So I wanted to share with you some of my journey. And I'm going to be honest with you. I originally, many, many years ago, had a negative view of the coaching world. I did. I thought it was woo-woo. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was for those who were not quite right. Those that were reliant on something else or somebody else or something to help them to improve their lives. And I felt disconnected to the coaching world until I went on my own journey. So I'm going to share with you my own journey. I'm going to correlate that with what's going on in the world today. And I want to challenge you as a result to be bold and brave and audacious in the execution of your vision. Did you know that on average, coaches make around $21,000 to $22,000 per year, $21,000 to $22,000 per year in their coaching business? I believe that the finances that we generate through our business represent the fruit of the lives that we're impacting. Does that make sense? Our finances represent or are the fruit of the lives that we're impacting. Let me say that one more time. Our finances, the money that we make in our coaching business, is representative. It's the fruit of the lives that we're impacting. And that means if you're not making much money, if you're making 20K per year, you're not impacting the amount of lives that I believe that you've been placed upon planet Earth to impact. This is a legacy thing. This is something that's been given to you, right? So whatever your spiritual belief, whatever your religious belief, it doesn't matter to me. I believe that every single one of you who has made a decision to be a coach because something has happened in your life that's taken you on that journey of being a coach, that happened for a reason. And you have skills, you have resources, you have tools, you have modalities to change and transform people's lives. Am I right or am I right? Comment, agree below if you agree that you have these beautiful skills. And if you're not stepping up and if you don't have the ability or the resources or the commitment to step up, that needs to change today, because there are people on planet Earth, millions of people. I believe that for every single coach, every single one of you, that 10,000 people woke up this morning shedding private tears because they need a solution to their problem. You have that solution. They just don't know that you exist. That means for every single coach every single coach that exists, that 10,000 people woke up needing a solution to a problem in the way that you offer that solution, right? So they connect with you. 10,000 people are waking up this morning here in Australia and ultimately around the world as the day goes on, needing the solution to the problem, but also needing that solution in the way that you present it individually and uniquely. We are all different. We all have unique fingerprints. And in the same way that we all have unique fingerprints, we all represent ourselves in different ways. People connect with each other in different ways. It's why some people love Tony Robbins and some people can't stand the guy. It's why some people absolutely love Oprah Winfrey and others think she's a load of nonsense. That's okay. But the truth is 10,000 people woke up this morning needing you in the way that you uniquely present your work here on planet Earth, but they don't know that you exist because you haven't been committed enough. Hear me out. You haven't been committed enough to figure out how to reach them, because some of us are being lazy in our pursuit of building our businesses. And I know that's a challenging statement, and it's challenging to me too. So I'm here speaking to myself as well. I could be in this room on my own, speaking to myself only, being honest and vulnerable with myself, raw and real about my need to step up as well, because I sometimes spend too much time on Instagram, on TikTok, instead of figuring out what I really need to figure out in order to change those lives that were created or woke up this morning needing me in the way that I present myself to the world, right? We've got Janice Agree. Thank you. This is so important. I'm going to share with you my journey because it's important, right? So I grew up in a Christian environment. I'm one of 6 children, brought up in the UK, Liverpool, UK, and I religiously went to Sunday school every single Sunday. My parents went to church, and I studied theology. So I actually went to university to study theology. Theology meaning theo, meaning God, and ology, meaning the study of. So theology, the study of God. So I studied theology for 3 years, my undergraduate degree. I studied Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam. I studied many, many religions. And I was also a church leader. So I got married young, excuse me, I got married at a very young age. I was a church leader. I was running a Christian ministry, and that ministry was taking young people to Africa. We were working in orphanages, incredible experience in the Kuru, just outside Kenya. And we were spending time with children in orphanages. We were spending time with family living on rubbish tips. I was speaking in churches in Africa, and I was running a Christian ministry in the UK, and I had a book that I'd written, Rad Lad Living. It was a discipleship book, a Christian discipleship book for young men, and speaking in churches across the UK. And also I was creating a magazine. So I created 2 magazines. One was for adults and one was for young people. One was called The Walk and one was called Benchmark. And every single year, I think I created 24 magazines every single year. And I did everything. I wrote the articles, photography, distributed the magazine to start with until I built a team around me. I was dedicated to this. I was married at a young age, and I was, what I would call living by faith, trying to this thing happen. You that know my story, I always knew that I was gay, and it was the most painful experience of my life. I can't explain to you how being brought up in the church, struggling with my sexuality, and knowing that I was gay, yet knowing what the Bible said about homosexuality, or what I was taught or told that the Bible said about homosexuality, and the way that I was would have been perceived by the church if I came out. And it was awful. That internal struggle and battle was horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And it was just so painful. I was speaking in churches and speaking in front of literally thousands of people. But I knew that something in me, as far as I was told, wasn't right. It was wrong. And I got to the stage where I had church leaders laying hands on me to expel or cast out the demon of homosexuality. This is mind effing up stuff. This was messing with my mind. And of course, look, I'm totally honest. I did stuff that I'm not proud of. I'm so not proud of the things that I did, and being married and a church leader. And I had an affair. I was married and I had an affair with a guy. And I'm not proud of that. I'm so not proud of that. And it's taken me a long time to come to terms with what I did. I saw myself as the, you know, the Jerry Springer episode of my husband slept with a guy type thing. I saw myself as so low and so just not worthy of anything, absolutely anything, right? And so inevitably what happened, what was going to happen happened, right? You can't hide this stuff and never expect it to come out into the light. Things always come out into the light. And my marriage ended and my wife walked out. I don't blame her. And I Googled most quickest and painless way to die. Most quickest and painless way to die. And that night, that's what I attempted to do. So I attempted to take my own life. And I woke up the next day in hospital, and I realized that I'd lived on planet Earth for 23, 24 years, but I'd never truly lived. I'd never truly lived. I was living a life that I wanted, that everybody else wanted me to live, or it was expected of me to live, for me to live. I never truly accepted who I was. And the hardest thing for me to do was, you know, people talk about the coming out story, right? The hardest thing for me to do was to come out to myself and to accept that I was gay. This was a dark place in my life. And I remember so I attempted to take my own life, woke up in hospital the next day, realized that I'd lived on planet Earth for 20 odd years or whatever, 26 years, 24 years, never truly lived. And that was the beginning of the change for me. And I started to read a book called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And it just gave me the ability to be present. And my mind was everywhere. I felt so guilty about the things that I'd done. I felt so guilty because, as far as I was concerned, God hated me. I was ashamed because if my family knew what I'd done, they would, you know, look down on me. In that moment when my marriage ended, I lost everything. I lost my wife, understandably. I lost my Christian ministry. It was taken away from me. I lost my salary, no money whatsoever. I lost my friends in the Christian community because I was the black sheep. I was that guy that did these horrible things and was going against God's will, and I was cast out. I was homeless. I lost my house, and I had to go back to the side of the UK to live with my parents again and try and build from scratch. And it was horrible. It was awful. And I read The Power of Now, and I was looking for an escape. I was looking to do something different with my life. And I came up with this crazy idea. And this crazy idea was to lease a 200-acre island in Fiji. Remember, I had no money. I had nothing. To lease a 200-acre island in Fiji that had nothing on it, to invite the world to become tribe members. So online, they would decide what power, what accommodation, what food we would grow, how we would interact with the nearby Fijians. So speaking at their school, helping to rebuild their schools, whether it's composting toilets or solar, or so they decided all online with their knowledge and wisdom of all these people that was brought together. That was the goal. And then they went to the island in order to take part in its development, to build the accommodation and to speak in the schools. And this crazy idea, I managed to figure out how to make it happen. So I found an island. I found a business partner. I found an island, and that island, we had a handshake that when the money came through, we would pay them. We convinced a friend to create a website for us, saying that if it works, we'll pay them. If it doesn't work, we're sorry. And for the first kind of few weeks, we struggled to get anybody involved. And then things started to happen. I wanted to get, I knew if I could get this story of this business in a newspaper in the UK called the Metro, which was read on the London Underground, and that's where people will be traveling to work in terms of those that work in the TV world. If they saw it, then this would do very well. So I focused on getting it in that the Metro, and I was unstoppable. I was relentless. I contacted the Metro. I contacted journalists, individual journalists, many different journalists. I didn't stop. I reached out to them, called them, emailed them, did whatever it took. I got that story in the Metro, and it changed everything. Before I continue, comment below and let me know if you've had, what was your life-changing moment that got you into coaching? So what was your life-changing moment that got you into coaching? Comment below. I'd really love to hear. And so this story about this business was in the Metro, and that day 80 TV production companies contacted me, some of the biggest TV production companies in the world, wanting to turn it into a TV show. It changed everything. Suddenly this story was in 200 media outlets around the world. We did Good Morning America, Today Show, New York Times. This was 6 months after I tried to wipe my existence off the face of the planet. 6 months after trying to wipe my existence off the face of the planet, because I believed in myself. I believed that I was launching a business, and I thought that if this business went wrong, if it went bankrupt, right? If it was over, at least I was still here. At least I was still here on planet Earth. And so that truth gave me the foundation to be audacious, to be bold, and to be brave in order to make this thing happen. Of course, along the way, I was reading The Power of Now, and then I moved into Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within. I started to understand that I had tools and resources within me. I had everything within me that I needed in order to figure out how to turn this business into reality. I had everything I needed within me to turn this into a TV show. I had everything that I needed within me in order to find enough people that would buy into this thing and for it to become the success that it became. And here I was on this beautiful island. And I'm just going to go back a little bit, right? I just want to go back a little bit before I tell you about what happened next. So when I was at that darkest point in my life, and I attempted to take my own life, I woke up in a hospital, and then I obviously went to a house, and I started to text. I was desperate for help. I was desperate for somebody to help me. I started to text premium rate psychic numbers. Now, I'm not making any judgment about psychics, but I was looking and desperate for help. And these premium rate psychic numbers, I was texting them, costing me a lot. And then me back and sort of ask a question to try and get into this level of conversation so that they could make more money. And it wasn't, I don't believe that they were psychics. I'm not saying that being a psychic isn't true. I don't believe that they were psychics. I was desperate, hungry for somebody to give me knowledge and wisdom and insight to help me, right? So moving forward, here I am on this beautiful island in Fiji, and it was late at night, and the sun was going down on this beautiful ocean, and I was laying in this hammock, and it was so hot. And I was laying there thinking about every opportunity that had come my way since I built this crazy idea, every opportunity that had come my way since I'd built a business, and for it to be in 200 media outlets. In fact, it was being filmed to be a TV show in 3 countries. And here I am laying in this hammock, And I couldn't help thinking about the fact that I Googled most quickest and plainest way to die. And then I started to think about how many people pour their life into Google. How do I save my failing marriage? How do I improve my health? How do I improve my relationship with my children? I hate my job. How do I get a new job? How do I deal with a narcissistic boss? How do I lose weight? Why am I so depressed? People pour their lives into Google. And that broke my heart, laying in a hammock in Fiji, thinking about people that were at this lowest level or can be or are at this low point in their life, and they don't know where to go for help. They don't know who to turn to. And so there, on that island, in this hammock, obviously I'd read Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now, Tony Robbins, Awaken the Giant Within. I also read Maya Angelou, beautiful lady. And I was compelled. I knew of life coaches. I knew of the coaching world. I knew of the personal development world. I was compelled to use all the skills I'd learned of building this business from scratch that had become a TV show. It was being filmed to be a TV show in 3 countries, appeared in 200 media outlets on Good Morning America, Today Show, New York Times, National Geographic. I felt compelled to help coaches with all the skills that I'd learned, to help them to build businesses that change and transform people's lives, to find their 10,000 people that woke up this morning needing them. And I made a decision on the island to commit myself and to commit my life to working with coaches to make sure that not one individual ever went through the depth of pain that I went through. That not one individual went through the depth of pain that I went through. And so that's what I eventually did. I eventually sold my shares in the business and started to work with coaches. In fact, at a personal level in London, I accidentally, maybe not accidentally, but I accidentally met a guy in a bar in London, and that individual was on a few days trip, Australian in Europe and in London for a couple of days, and we hung out every day. Then we had a long distance relationship for 2 years. Then I moved to Australia. I've been here for about maybe 10, 11 years. Last year, we got married. So we got married here in Australia. So I now have a husband. We started the surrogacy process. And so those of you that may not know, we started the surrogacy process to find a surrogate, an egg donor, and for us to have a baby. We wanted to start a family at a significant cost of $250,000, right? And we're now having a baby. So we are now entering into our 3rd trimester. In July, we're going to America to be with our surrogate and to pick up our baby, to be there for the birth and to pick up the baby and to go through the visa process and then come back to Australia and start a family. And I've had this renewed passion for the coaching world, this renewed passion for the coaching world because of the journey that I went on. If I look at Mark, when he was in the Christian world, nothing to do with the Christian world, but my experience, I'm not negating Christians by any stretch of the imagination, but my experience and my rock bottom moment and how I couldn't even, I remember looking into a mirror. My marriage was ended because of me, because I struggled with my sexuality, because I cheated on my wife. I remember looking into the mirror, eyeball to eyeball. I just cried. I just cried and cried. I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror because I was so embarrassed by my own behavior. I felt so guilty. I felt so pathetic that I was so embarrassed of what I'd done and who I'd become. When I know that I'm not that person. I'm a great person, and I love people, but I was so ashamed and embarrassed that I couldn't even look at myself eyeball to eyeball. And to think of the journey that I've been on to get to the stage where, obviously, building a beautiful coaching business and helping people, which has enabled me to generate money, to pay cash, to have this baby, to be confident and comfortable with my sexuality, to get married, to be having a child. That whole journey of beginning to, I wouldn't say end, but this stage of my life where I was struggling with sexuality, and I struggled at school. And I was bullied at school because people said I was gay. And I remember I went to the head teacher and I said, I'm being bullied. And the head teacher said, why are you being bullied? What are they saying about you? And I said, they're saying that I'm gay. And he said to me, well, are you? And that was the most heartbreaking question when I'm struggling to figure out stuff in my own life to be asked, right? And so to think about that journey and where I've come from and where I am now, and it's all because of the personal development world. It's all because of people like you, coaches, who have been bold and brave in learning these modalities and going through your own experiences and committing yourself to building businesses that change and transform people's lives. And I tell you what, because of that whole journey, that process that I've been through, of now married, having a child, it's given me such a deeper passion for the coaching world. It's given me such a deeper passion to work with people like you. It's given me this renewed desire to be bold, to be brave, to be audacious, and to help every single one of you to do that, to build your coaching businesses. And I know what it's like. I work with my clients at the coalface when they're struggling to build an audience online. They're struggling to generate leads. They're struggling to convert, and you doubt yourself. And there's that frustration, and there's that overwhelm, and there's that burnout, and there's that question in your own mind as to whether you should give up. But I want to tell every single one of you not to give up. I want to tell every single one of you to be bold and to be brave and to be audacious in the execution of your dreams. Look at the world right now. Open up the news today. Today, I opened the news to hear a story of somebody that did commit suicide. Heartbreaking. I read in the news about a story about how one man's gambling addiction completely wiped his family's entire savings and is now damaging his marriage. We see how people are fed up of working for the boss in hostile and nasty environments. Sick of not the 9 to 5 anymore, the 8 to 6 or 8 to 7, not spending time with their families, their partners, their wives, their husbands. People who are unemployed, people who are homeless. People who are struggling with their mental health because of their own experiences. When every single one of you, 33,000 people in this community, have the answer. 33,000 people in this community have the ability to change and transform at least 10,000 people's lives, at least. But what is required is for you to be bold, to be brave, to be audacious in figuring out how to find those 10,000 people, figuring out how to connect with your audience and build an audience and generate leads, and creating a program that helps them to get those results, learning how to convert. When I started my coaching business, I say this time and time again, I struggled to sell my services at $100 an hour. I struggled. I was on the phone, getting people on the phone, and I didn't know how to sell. And so at the end of the call, I'd say stupid things like, well, what I'll do is I'll email you my packages and my services. And if you're interested, just come back to me. Guess what happened? They never did. I knew that in order to make this business work and in order to change and transform people's lives, I needed to be bold and to be brave and to be audacious. And if I didn't know how to sell, I needed to figure out how to sell. And that's what I did. So I devoured books on sales, videos, training. I committed myself to making this business work. And in that first year, when I made that decision, I had as many calls as I could. I didn't have time to go to the toilet. I didn't have time for lunch. I was committed to figuring out how to sell in a congruent and authentic way. And in that first year, I generated 1.2 million in sales on the phone myself. And honestly, what excites me is that money is purely a reflection of how many lives are being impacted, because people wanted to invest in me to help them to grow their business, to change and transform more lives. I committed myself to figuring out. I was bold and audacious in doing so. And I know it's easy to be in a situation where you feel like you're struggling, to feel like I just can't figure this out. I don't know how to create a landing page. And we get so caught up in stupid stuff. I'm not great at tech. I'm not great at creating videos online or images online. Right. And so we allow ourselves to slow down in the pursuit of success because we allow these little things to be major hurdles, and therefore we hold back on figuring out how to make it happen. So let's say your goal is to create 3 videos this week to post online to build your audience, and you're not sure with tech, and therefore you do it once and you try to edit this thing and you get overwhelmed and you get frustrated. And you think, forget it, I'll put it away. I'll do it another day. And so a week goes by and you haven't done it. And so you're not building an audience online. You're not finding your 10,000 people. The truth is that those 10,000 people still woke up this morning shedding private tears, needing you. But you haven't dared to be audacious to quickly figure it out, to find a way to reach them. And I believe that as coaches, we are allowing silly, stupid things to slow down the pursuit of finding those 10,000 people. And with my clients, that's what we focus on. Getting stuff done. Is everything that I do perfect when I put it out online? No. Is every challenge or every lead magnet or every PDF or video or download, are they perfect? No. But they're out there. They're out there giving people the ability to learn how to grow and build a business. Comment below and let me know what's been your biggest takeout from this session so far today. What's been your biggest takeout from this session? Because I want to inspire you to be bold and brave and audacious in the pursuit of finding the 10,000 people that woke up this morning shedding private tears because they need you. And don't let anything stop you, because we know hypothetically, we know the numbers, we know the stats, we know, the increase in mental health issues, or the increase in the amount of people that hate their jobs, or the increase in suicide rates. We know the stats, but I want to take it personal today. And I know my situation. I know that I nearly wiped my existence off the face of the planet. I know that even after that, I've spent so long feeling so guilty because of my own behavior. I was ashamed of who I was. I was ashamed of what I'd done. And I needed you. But I couldn't find you. How many people need you today that can't find you? And whose responsibility is it? Whose responsibility is it to make sure that they have somebody that they can find that helps them to change and transform their lives? And I know now, as a future parent, and myself, my partner, my husband, we're talking about who we want to be as parents and how we want to break some of these cycles of guilt and not hand them down, to break the things in our lives and not hand them down. Of course, we'll screw up in other ways. But you coaches, I really want to speak to you, every single coach, that you are amazing. You have this skill, you have a modality, you have a heart, you have a passion to change people, to help them, to improve their lives, to help them to live this magical life here on planet Earth to the full. This is a gift. To be here on planet Earth is a gift that we just take for granted. And you, beautiful coach, have something special that can powerfully not just change one person's life, but change many lives. So that one individual, I think of me at that time who was desperate, who was broken when I attempted to take my own life. And I was struggling. And how my family struggled as a result because they hated to see what I was going through. And those people around me could see that I was sad, right? So not only are you changing that one person's life, but the ripple effect around that individual's life. We have this beautiful, powerful gift to go into the world and to change and transform people's lives in the most powerful and profound way. And I want to inspire you to be bold, to be brave, and to be audacious to make that happen. Two things I want to share with you. One is that the life coaching world can get a bad rap, a bad reputation. I was reading a story of a life coaching company in the UK that was more like a cult and was treating people in a very awful way and was manipulating people. And there was abuse in many ways. And of course, that stuff gets into the media and has a very negative impact on the way that life coaching is perceived. I know how the personal development world has changed my life, and I know that it can change others. And we need powerful and profound stories of coaches stepping up into the media, sharing stories of how they've authentically and vulnerably changed their lives, sharing their gifts as to how they can help others. And something else I think of, and we'll finish soon, is this: that when I was in the church, and I love the Christian community, and we were so militant about trying to convert people, right? So trying to inspire people to give their life to Jesus, to become a Christian, and therefore go on and see other people become Christians. It was this goal of converting as many people as possible because we believed that obviously we wanted them to have eternal life through Jesus Christ, right? It doesn't matter what your religion is. And I'm not saying I necessarily subscribe to that now. It's a whole different conversation. But my point is that we were so militant in our beliefs. And you see people on street corners, Christians preaching, and they're militant and passionate. Maybe militant's the wrong word, but they're passionate about getting their belief across. And I believe it's important for every single coach to have that same level, not in an obnoxious way, not in a self-righteous way, but that same level of audacious passion with regards to our tools, our skills, our modalities. That we have something that can change and transform people's lives, and we need to get out there and be bold and to be brave and to be audacious, finding our 10,000 people, sharing the tools and resources that we have with as many people as possible. Imagine if 33,000 people in this community, audacious coaches, committed themselves to building a community, finding the 10,000 people that woke up this morning needing them, 33,000 people, 10,000 people that they find their community, those that woke up needing them specifically. And then the ripple effect that could have in the lives of those around them, their friends, their family, their community. This is powerful stuff. We have within us the ability to make a positive dent in the lives of so many people, if only we were audacious to step up. Do you hear me? Are you hearing my words and my heart and my passion? Because I've experienced it myself. And that is why I've changed the name of this group to Audacious Coaches. I believe that we need to be bold and brave. We're stepping up with the amount of resources that we give you guys, the live sessions, the trainings this week, the interviews with amazing people every single week, more trainings. I'm going next level in more challenges, more opportunities. And yes, of course, I have a coaching program. Of course, I have a business, but I'm not expecting you to buy into that. I'm not telling you, I'm not giving you free stuff in with the intention that you become a client. I'm giving you all the support that you need to find the 10,000 people that woke up this morning needing you, because I know what depth of pain I was in. And as some of you choose to become my clients, it's awesome. Let's do something amazing together. If you don't, that's equally okay, right? It's perfectly fine. But be here, consume the resources, engage with this community, ask questions in this group. I will dive in, I will answer. I will give you everything that I have. To find. Oh, I don't know why it's got me so emotional. Your tribe, your community of 10,000 people. So if you have been inspired by this, if you know that it's time for you to step up, if you know that it's time for you to take that next step and to be bold and to be brave and audacious, I want you to comment audacious below. Comment audacious below. Comment audacious below, whether you're watching live or watching the replay. Comment audacious below. This session is for you. I want to inspire you to achieve greatness and for you to achieve what you were placed on planet Earth to achieve in your business. I want you to find people that are in the situation that I was in, broken, lost, guilty, ashamed, embarrassed, right? I can't explain how I felt so worthless. And I think about that now, people with sex addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, money issues, addiction. People have done stuff that they're embarrassed of. We've all done it because we're humans and we need to create safe spaces for people to be open and vulnerable without judgment and help them to achieve things in their life, to get over that judgment, to get over that self-hatred and to become an incredible version of themselves, because it's a gift. Life is a gift. And what scares me most is that so many people are going through life ashamed and embarrassed and hurt and just not living life to the full. We've got to change that. We've got to change that, right? Joe Hines, audacious, beautiful. Richard, audacious. Richard, apologies, Joe late. We'll watch the recording. No need to apologize. Awesome. So we're kicking off this week with a whole series of live sessions, interviews with amazing people that will help you to grow your business, right? If you have any questions, post in the group. I'm here to answer. I want you to be in this group asking questions, taking action on the resources that we give you. If there's something that you need, let us know, right? We're going next level to help you. And also, get access to the live sessions this week. Finally, having said all that, we do have a session today with Tess, PR. We've had to reschedule that, unfortunately, because Tess woke up this morning feeling very unwell. So we're rescheduling that, and I'll let you know when that is. But take a look at the event section for all the other sessions that we have, and I'll let you know as soon as that other one is we can reschedule Tess for PR. So be bold, be brave, be audacious. Let this week be the week or the day or the moment. Let this moment be the moment that you decide that you're going to be audacious in the execution of your vision to transform as many lives as possible so that you leave an incredible legacy here on planet Earth, because that is what you're placed upon planet Earth to do. My name is Mark Bonas. Thank you so much for your time today. It's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a pleasure to serve every single one of you. And I'm excited to do that a whole new level with this profound new passion that I have for the coaching world because of the journey that I've now been on and the thought of becoming a dad. And it's all down to the coaching world, people like you. So be you, be audacious. Any questions, comment below, and we'll see you this week.